Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for hanging out with me in the fish room again as we continue to talking about breeding for profit. Today we are going to talk about the top 5 fish from Jason's perspective that you can breed in a 20-gallon aquarium. Now remember, a 20-gallon aquarium comes 2 different ways. It comes in a 20-gallon long and a 20-gallon high. So as we talk about each fish, we'll kind of explain which is the best one of these versions to use. And again, Petco has their $1 a gallon sales, so $20, you absolutely can't go wrong. It won't take you very long at all to be able to start breeding something and making some money, and that $20 will seem like absolutely nothing. So let's go ahead and let's get started on our list. But first of all, we're gonna have like a number 6 instead. Number 6 would be, I want you guys, if you didn't see before, go back, I'll link it above, to the video that I did before on what to breed in a 10-gallon aquarium for breeding for profit. Now every single thing that's on that list, all 5 of those fish, you can also breed in a 20-gallon, but it also gives you the ability to ramp it up much, much more. So for instance, with guppies, instead of breeding 1 or 2 pair in a 10-gallon, you can do 6, 7, 8 pair in a 20-gallon long. So you've got all those same ones that are available that you can also bring those over to a 20-gallon and breed and get a lot more production out of it. And also keep in mind throughout this, you've got the same ability to be able to put those plants, all those different type of plants that we talked about before, in there and grow those out and make money off them also. But the one thing you can't do with all the examples that I'm giving you today is breed shrimp alongside of them. Every single one of these fish that we're talking about today will absolutely decimate your shrimp population. So those are not ones that you actually want to mix. So let's move on to number 5. All right, number 5 on the list is the Pracox Rainbow. These guys are super, super easy to breed. The only thing is that when you probably want to keep them in a 20-gallon long, but you only want to probably keep 2 pair in there, maybe 3 pair. This is a breeding situation that you're going to want to set up. These fish are not a good idea to keep them in a 20-gallon long on the time. They like to have a lot of movement, and they like to kind of school together. So if you're going to do that, let's say you've got multiple ones like I do here, you can put 4 of them in that 20-gallon long for a couple of weeks and then swap them out and put 2 more males and 2 more females in there and keep kind of swapping them out. But the only thing that you really need to do for them is, of course, feed them really, really well. Feed them some live baby brine shrimp, some frozen, all types of frozen foods, anything to get those females nice and fattened up so that they're absolutely loaded with eggs. And then when you have them in that 20-gallon long, you don't have to have any type of decorations in there. You don't have to have any type of plants in there. The only thing you're needing to put in there is the spawning mop like you see here. If you don't know what a spawning mop is, I'll link above how to make this thing. Super, super simple. It's just made out of nylon yarn. And what happens is the male and female will go in there and lay their eggs. The eggs themselves actually have this kind of stuff that attaches this stuff on it, and it literally just gets stuck inside of the spawning mop. So all you have to do is every single day pull that spawning mop out and find all your eggs and put them in a different container where they're going to hatch out in about 7 to 10 days. All right, number 4 on the list is Apistogrammas. Apistogrammas can be a fish at first. Trying to figure them out on how to breed can be a little bit difficult, but once you master the art of how to get the water the way they want it, and then once you do that, you have the ability to breed just about every species that there is. These are Vieta Golds, or some people refer to them actually as McMasteri. The easiest one to start off with would be the Cockatoides. They seem to breed a little bit easier than the rest of them do. But it's just a simple setup. You'd want to put these guys in a 20-gallon long. You only want to keep 1 pair in there because the males can become pretty aggressive. The best thing you can do is use rainwater, but if you don't have access to rainwater, you can use RO water, because these guys want super, super low TDS, and then you want to soften the water up. And what I really like to use is oak leaves, as you'll see in here. I just absolutely just load this thing with oak leaves. There were way more in here than this, so that that begins to soften the water and gets it to where they absolutely love it to be. And again, once you get to that point, it's really, really easy to get these guys to breed. All right, number 3 on the list is cribenzas. These guys are very, very easy to breed. Also, these guys are egg layers. They're a type of dwarf cichlid. These guys would work great. You take one pair and put it in a 20-gallon long. You don't want to put more than one pair in there because the males can get pretty feisty, and there's not a lot of room for the female to get away with them, or to actually get away from them. So these guys will, male and female, will lay eggs. You just have to provide some type of cave, like all the different caves that you see in here. The female will go in there and spawn, lay the eggs. The male will fertilize them. The female will guard them and will raise them up herself. The male will sit outside and protect the outside. And then they're pretty good parents for the most part. Again, it's the same situation. If you want to remove the eggs and hatch them out yourself, you can, or you can allow the parents to raise them up yourself. All right, number 2 on the list is shell dwellers. Shell dwellers are great to keep in a 20-gallon long. To breed them in. What I would suggest if you are going to use these guys is you want to do maybe just like one male and maybe 4 or 5 females in a 20-gallon long. The males can get pretty aggressive. There's different species that you can do. These are Neolampologus caudopuntatus. These guys just get an actual absolutely beautiful fin. There's the multis out there that you can also breed. Those guys are a little bit smaller and you can get more of them in there. These fish are highly desirable fish. There's ocellatus shell dwellers. I probably would avoid the gold ocellatus in a 20-gallon long because they can be extremely aggressive, and they may end up, the male may end up killing the females. But these guys are really easy to breed. Again, you just basically put them in there, put some shells like you see in here. These are basically just escargot shells that I've actually bought off of Amazon. And these guys won't take very long before they will start breeding and laying eggs. But these guys are just a great fish to breed because there's so many people that are constantly looking for these, and these things are hard to find. You just don't see them in the fish stores terribly often. And the number 1 fish for breeding in a 20-gallon are angelfish. These guys, you want to breed them in a 20-gallon high. The best way to do it is to start off buying 6 of these guys that aren't very big yet. That way you can watch them pair off yourself. When they get to be about this size right here, where they're probably about 2.5 inches tall, that's about the time that they're about ready to mate, and they will pair off. You can move it into a 20-gallon high. So easy for angels. Once you get them to pair off, you simply move them over to that 20-gallon tall. You put in a breeder cone like you see in here, and these guys will lay eggs usually about 11 to 14 days. If you get a really good pair, they'll actually take care of the eggs for you and actually hatch them up and grow them. But unlike me, I can never get a good pair. I have to remove my eggs. So you remove your eggs and put them in something else and get them all to hatch out and raise them up on baby brine shrimp. Super easy. Alright, there you guys go. I hope you absolutely enjoyed this video. Be sure and tell me down below what fish that you think should be bred in a 20-gallon long or a 20-gallon high. I absolutely want to hear from you guys. So be sure and leave a comment or a question that you have down below. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.